Superman, G.I. Christopher. I'm about to read an excerpt, and then we do have another musical act coming up, like I said, a rap, hip-hop, poetry act. I think you'll enjoy them, but before I introduce them, I do want to read an excerpt from my book, and I'll read a couple more before we get out of here tonight, before we just drink and mingle. But I see a lot of tables empty. You know, you can't eat, drink, and be merry. Tip the bartenders, buy some books. I got babies to feed. 8 children by 10 different women.
Push it. I'm sorry.
Talk about that. All right, this first excerpt I'm going to read is going to be from this. Actually, the title track of the book is Kim, the Story of John. It's 3 short stories that include one short story about a black soldier in the Vietnam War and the segregation, discrimination that he experiences, and shows you how the discrimination of African Americans or just black people in general is an international thing and not a national thing. Another short story in here is called Kim, the Story of John. It deals with sexual identity and college promiscuity. Some of you all went and graduated and have been promiscuous. You'll enjoy this track. I will read some of that. God, we don't need to remember everything, but I'll relive it for you in the story. And another story is called Piper's Gap, and that story is about pretty much role reversal and shows us that race is just like a divisional thing that shows how people can dominate others. It's not necessarily because of your race, it's just a way to classify people. Who all has this book so far in here, Kim, the Story of John? Round of applause. I hope you've enjoyed it. Those of you that have read it, I think it's a very good book. I thought to add, I do think it's very good. I wanted to kind of do something like a cabaret event, and we'll be doing this all summer long with this book and also my next book coming out. You can find me, G-E-E Joyner, on Facebook. Look me up, I will befriend you. But I wanted to pretty much kind of fuse jazz, neo-soul, rap, hip-hop with my literature, because that's how I like to write, where it flows like music. And of course, music is a story, just like the rhetoric I use is a story. So without further ado, I'm gonna quit running my mouth, and I'm gonna read this excerpt. Feel free to hoop and holler and ooh and if you want to. We got some of those so I'll start it up. If you have the book, turn the page. 67. If you don't have the book, look on with your neighbor. Now, as they say, it's a blessing and a privilege to get you some of that G. Joyner reading on a Saturday night. Let's rock and roll. Here we go, page 67. Y'all ready? Yeah. Are we ready?
Yes.
I need to hear some more noise. Are we ready? I need to get hyped.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Piper's Gap. The screen door to our home flung open, wide as the chasm between heaven and hell, as 3 black policemen rushed inside searching for a burglar who had last been seen robbing the neighborhood cleaners. No knock, no maybe speak with the man of the house, no nothing. These monsters bombarded our home with all the tact of an elephant on eggshells. My mother was in the bathroom when the policemen barged into our home. My father, the man of the house, was nowhere to be found. Only my mother, my siblings, and myself were there to endure the wrath of Piper's Gap's finest. Where the hell is he? Stated one of the officers who seemed to be the spokesperson for the other 2 Neanderthal men of the law who, instead of preferring to speak as humans, found nothing better to do than to taunt and fondle my sisters while my brothers watched in fear and fury. Where is who? I shouted to the tall, slender policeman. I distinctly remember his left eye maintaining a twitch while his right eye remained still, as if the eye, independent of the rest of his body, had been stricken with paraplegia. We looking for a white boy who done got himself with some hot agua. What are you talking about? I said, frowning with disgust. With a lightning quick reflex, the policeman grabbed me by the collar and yelled, "The Peckerwood who robbed the damn cleaners on McLemore Street." Before I could give a reply, he turned me loose and trudged his way to the back of the house. His henchmen followed and barged into the bathroom where my mother was preoccupied. As I frantically dashed towards the bathroom, I heard an awful screech followed by distinct laughter. When I saw my mother, bloomers shackled at her ankles like a slave, tears haunting one another en route to the bottom of her face, I felt utterly helpless and subject to the whimsical actions of the local policeman sent to terrorize the white area of town. Not much different from any town in America in those days. My father was absent, apparently out doing his superfluous business about town. Therefore, there was no dominant adult in our presence to protect our family from unjust interrogation. After the policeman had exhausted the possibility of finding the imaginary culprit at the home of 8 children and an innocent woman who had never committed a crime in her life except for surrendering herself to a desolate situation with a man who reeked of negligence, they vacated the premises. He reeked of negligence. We never discussed the incident with my father after he arrived home hours later. This one incident would haunt my mother until her death, not because of the personal humiliation, but because her children had witnessed the humiliation while her husband, our father, was absent at a time in which he was desperately needed. This was just one of the many degrading instances that marred the substance of my childhood. I would be viciously raped of my innocence and emotionally molested at the hands of negligence and passion. That's the first excerpt. I hope you enjoyed it.